The song works with today's topic, smooth speaking, in other words. May is Better Hearing and Speech Month. It's a time to teach the value of early therapeutic intervention when it is needed. And Jacob Gutschall is the director of the Walker Scottish Rite Clinic in Maryville. Jacob, thanks so much for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Let's begin with talking about some well-known people who stutter. President Biden is one.
Yep.
James Earl Jones, Nicole Kidman, B.B. King, Marilyn Monroe, Elvis Presley, Boris Karloff. I did not know.
Yeah, who would have thought Darth Vader had a stutter? I mean,
same thing.
It's something it's not as common. About 1% of the population has a stuttering problem, but it's something that really affects people. So,
what causes it? Do we know?
We don't know. It's a mixture of biology, physiology, and also environment. There isn't one specific cause. It's all of these things coming together. But they do know that it does tend to run in families, so there's some genetic component, but definitely environment plays a role as well.
Yeah, I have a nephew who stuttered when he was little, and you wouldn't know it today.
Yeah, that's something that's very common. A lot of children between the ages of 2 to up to 8 will develop a stutter, and then they will grow out of it. If you think about it, right now I'm trying to think about how I'm going to say these sentences to you. And your mind has to really formulate those sentences in a way that makes sense to other people. For children, they're just learning how to do that. So they'll stop, they'll pause, they'll have a and, they'll have things like that happen. And some children it's more defined than others. And for some children it persists past that certain period of time when they're developing language.
But there's a psychological aspect to it. I mean, if they're teased, I mean, that could make it go on for a lifetime.
Yeah. Bullying is definitely an issue that is an important thing to talk about with children. And one of the most important things with stuttering therapy is that you teach children about accepting who they are, because the children really it's something that's difficult, but it's not all of who they are. I mean, James Earl Jones, President Biden, they all have a stutter, and that's just a very minor piece of who they are. They become very successful. So even though a lot of children might not outgrow their stutter, it doesn't matter. They still have an important message, and we want to hear their message.
What should parents look for? I mean, if they're concerned. I mean, what age does this usually begin, that type of thing?
Yeah, around age 2, if a child develops a stutter, usually they'll have different things that they'll do, and they'll start and they'll stop, just like I'm doing now with you. Everybody has these disfluencies. It's a normal thing that we do when we're talking. Talking is a very complex thing. So parents should probably just, if their child is stuttering more than 10% of everything that they say, if they are having a genetic component in their family, if another family member stutters, if they have been stuttering for more than 6 months, then it's probably time to go and get it checked out by a speech-language pathologist.
So at Walker Scottish Rite Clinic, you have different methods that you use depending on the child. I mean, it's not one size fits all.
That's right. And every therapy intervention has to be individualized to the child. Sometimes a stutter might be very severe. Sometimes it might be very mild, but really affecting the child's emotional, attachment or development or psychological development. So everything has to be individualized, and so it's important to have a full evaluation done with a speech pathologist, and to have goals set, and for the family to come up with these goals. What goals do the family want to have for this child?
Jacob Gutschall, thank you so much for joining us from Maryville University's Walker Scottish Rite Clinic, and we'll have a link to your website on our website at fox2now.com.
Right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.